All right, this is going to be a big tip for you. If you want to be able to decrease your stress in life, and you're one of those people who you're uber productive or you're always working to be productive, you know what I'm talking about, right? And then, by the way, this works for you. It doesn't matter if you are currently an employee and you're always looking to excel and you know that you're a high value employee in your current job. This tip is going to work for you. If you are a high level executive and you are leading a very large organization, and you've got your hands in everything, right? You got your hands in the marketing, you got your hands in the tech side, you got your hands in the production. You're doing a little bit of everything maybe in your particular role. This tip this week is going to be for you. You could be one of those entrepreneurs and you're building business, you're slaying dragons, maybe you're a serial entrepreneur, you got your hands in a lot of different things. Listen, this success tip here is going to be incredibly, incredibly good for you. So just let me, the key here is how do productive people decrease their stress? So let me share with you a little story. I first got started in business myself when I was about 23, 24 years old. But by 25, I was a self-employed entrepreneur at 25 years of age. I left my full-time career at the time, which was nursing. I was a registered nurse. I was an oncology nurse. And what happened to me when I became an entrepreneur is I started building business, and then I started seeing all of these areas to be able to increase business or to increase income, or I was seeing additional complementary businesses that I could start. I was seeing a new ways to be able to market and advertise. And that was one of my strengths. I've always been a little bit of I've always been a little bit of a visionary. And I've got talents. And if I don't know something, I'm willing to learn it. And maybe that sounds like you. Like I don't easily take no for an answer, right? However, here's what I've learned. A lot of times the things that you see that you can do are simply distractions from what you need to be doing. So hear me out. On your job, listen, you get paid to execute in a certain role and to execute really, really well. But all too often we can spend a lot of time and energy and creative efforts trying to make things better. And sometimes what we're trying to make better isn't necessary in our current role, but it can affect how well we execute in our current role. In business, here's what that can look like. I'm building a business is doing well. I'm looking to do better. I'm looking to increase revenue. And if I'm not careful, I can start creating a bunch of multiple side revenue streams that in my mind all complement the bigger picture. And if I'm being really honest with myself, what oftentimes happens is I'm juggling a bunch of different balls and I'm not getting the return that I should for the amount of effort that I'm putting into it. So maybe I'm putting in, 80% of my effort into my primary business, my primary income stream, my primary revenue generator. And then what ends up happening is I start putting so much energy everywhere else. And all of a sudden I've got 100% of my effort, but I'm not getting the same return. Maybe I'm only getting 5% more revenue or 5% more profit. That's what oftentimes happens. So you're putting in 30% more effort to give it 100%, but you're only seeing 5% more profit overall because your time is spent, you're problem solving in different places. And listen, it's very difficult for us to be in two places at once. So you're focused on a primary business, you're putting all your efforts in growing that primary business, but all too often you can get distracted. Or here's what can happen. If you're someone who's very productive, you're productive on the job, you're productive in business, either or both, and then all of a sudden someone needs some help with some sort of community organization. And you can use the skill set that you have over here, the time management skills that you have over here, maybe some of the marketing, some of the work effort skills that you have, and you can go over here and help out with this community organization or this church organization. And all of a sudden you find yourself involved with in a lot of different places. It takes a lot of time and effort. The primary objective that you should be working towards in life, your primary business or your primary work role, doesn't get as good of execution as it could get, and you find yourself balanced everywhere. You could be making it work, but you're juggling a bunch of balls, spending a lot of time, and ultimately this can lead to significant burnout. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's a phrase I learned years ago. And every now and again, I have to remind myself of this very phrase. The phrase is, just because you can does not mean you should. Just because you can does not mean you should. Let me talk about this in a little bit. I'm going to talk to you about how to execute on this. And then I'm going to talk to you about where to really focus. Because sometimes the business that you have or the career path that you're in is taking your primary efforts right now. But you may be thinking to yourself, but I don't know if this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I'm going to help you with that here in a moment. But first, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Jackie. I'm a trainer here with Destiny Global. We're bringing you absolutely free, proven, battle-hardened success tips every other week right here. Myself or one of the other master trainers. Now, with that, I can tell you that one of the things you'll notice about our success tips is we are real entrepreneurs every single day building businesses, trying to help our clients, people like you, to be able to start, grow, and scale your business and or your career. Many of us have worked in high-level areas in our career paths, like Mr. Kim Brown, who worked with the late Ross Perot and his company, electronic data systems, as well as Miss Carmen O'Quinn, who was running a multi-million-dollar business in her 20s, or myself, who started a simple one-man online internet business way back when I was 25 years old, and ultimately grew that business to doing over $100 million in sales worldwide. Listen, I want you to understand something right here, right now. The whole phrase, just because you can, don't mean you should, is vital for you to be able to maximize your potential. And the reason is because it's too easy to get distracted. And because it's too easy to say, I can do that. I can help with that. My expertise is good for this. But then it just simply, there's only 24 hours in a day. And outside of your work efforts and your community efforts and your church efforts, and all your business efforts and all the areas that you can spend your time, at the end of the day, you still have a family, you have a spouse, you have kids and or grandkids, and you need to have some of yourself left over for them as well. In fact, here at Destiny Global, we call that your first team or your A team. That's your primary organization to be a part of and to be given to. Your marriage and your kids, your family. So we want you to succeed. We want you to make a lot of money, but we want you to be able to do it in a way that is balanced and leads to long-term success. So remember, just because you can, don't mean you should. So how in the world do you find out where to put your efforts? You may be saying, Jackie, right now I like my job, but this isn't what I want to do forever. So I need to do these other things. I need to work myself into this other position. Or you may say, I love my current business, but I'm looking forward to, maybe starting another business, or this isn't my passion. I want to do something different. So what do? You first have to answer this question for yourself. You have to ask yourself, is the thing you're doing right now what you want to be doing for the next 10, 20, 30 years? If it is, that's where you want to focus. I have a buddy of mine who owns a language school, and he said, if I want this to, I had to ask myself this question. I have a really successful language school, but if I wanted to be a world-class language school, what else would I need to do? What effort would I need to put into that business? And I think you should ask yourself something similar if you know that you're doing right now what you want to be doing for the next 10 years or the next 20 years. Now, if you say, hey, this job or this position or this business is just a stepping stone, that's fine. Ask yourself this, what do I want to do next? And if you don't know, think of it this way. If it's business, what would my ideal client say once I'm out of business, once I'm retired? What would I want my ideal client to say? Maybe you want your ideal client to say, man, I could always go to them and get honest service and good service. Whenever I had a problem with my car, they were always there to help me out. Whenever I could call ABC HVAC company, they always, got the job done. And they always did it better than everybody else. I could count on them. Or if you're some sort of a coach, you can say, your clients can say, hey, I struggled with this, and I know that Coach so-and-so helped me with that, and they forever impacted my life. You've got to ask yourself, what would you want your client to say about you? Or if it's a career path, what do you want to be able to tell your kids that you did for your career? What do you want to be able to say to your grandkids? I retired from doing X, Y, and Z. What's the thing that would make you proud? What's the boss, the client, the companies you would like to be able to serve? What sort of clients would you like to help? If you can answer that question for yourself, you're getting very close to realizing where you need to start positioning yourself in life, where you need to start migrating yourself to. Everything else, listen, those of you that are entrepreneurs, you can make money doing a lot of things, but is it the thing that you want to be doing is what matters most? Because what I see happen specifically for young entrepreneurs or solopreneurs is they're typically visionaries and they know how to get things done. So a lot of times they'll make money over here, they'll make money over here, they'll make money over here. They'll have 3, 4, 5, 6 pretty good income streams. But they could build one income stream on less time, less effort, and it could be bigger than all of the 5 or 6 moderate income streams. So you've got to figure out what it is that you want in life. And then you have to be laser focused. And you have to say, just because I can does not mean I should. Look, let's repeat that together. Just because I can does not mean I should. All right. Don't forget that. That doesn't take anything away from you. You're highly successful. You're highly productive. Now let's just get focused. Let's get results. By the way, we have an entire section that's going to help with this coming up at our very next First Steps to Success seminar. This is a 3-day training event where we help clients like Sarah Bay, who had a part-time hobby business that she ended up launching, and she ended up earning over $300,000 within 2 years as a direct result out of her own mouth from sitting in those live seminars. She had some help during the seminar through one section. She had a chance to ask a question. That one question that she asked at that event has changed her life. And by the way, did I tell you she has like a gazillion kids and a husband? Okay, she has like 6 or 7 kids. They are a big family. There's a lot of them. And she's been able to build this incredible business. By the way, shortly after coming out of a pandemic when the rest of the world was falling apart. That's what she did because she was attending live training events like First Steps to Success. I'll put a link down in the comments. I look forward to seeing you at our very next live First Steps to Success training. Have a great night and God bless.